Don't turn around. Whatever is hiding behind you isn't real. It's in a shadow state, and no matter how fast you spin around to catch it, your biological frame rate will never be fast enough to see it. In the simulation, the server always wins. We always assumed we were biological creatures living in a physical universe, but the ominous figure seen out of the corner of your eye is just foveated rendering. The exact second you look, the system aggressively collapses the probability and renders an empty space, downgrading your peripheral vision to save RAM. You are the main character in a localized simulation, the processing bottleneck of an unfathomable render engine, and the system is starting to crash. Do you think you're experiencing this exact moment in real time? You're not. It takes time for the light from your screen to reach your eyes, and time for your brain to process the electrical signal. You are living your entire life on an 80-millisecond delay. You have never actually experienced the present. You are permanently trapped in the past. In online environments, this is called input lag, the time it takes for your local hardware to send a signal to the central server and get a response. If you want to know if you're living inside of a simulation, you have to look at the architecture like a quality assurance tester tasked with hunting down the optimization protocols, the intentional shortcuts the developers took to keep the server from crashing. And the most obvious shortcut in our universe is the processor's maximum clock speed. We call it the speed of light. In a complex physics engine, if an object moves faster than the server's tick rate, the absolute maximum speed the computer can calculate an event, the physics engine breaks. Causality fails. The object moves before the computer can calculate the collision. To prevent a catastrophic server crash, the developers hard-coded an unbreakable limit of nearly 300,000 kilometers per second. This is why time dilation exists. As your physical body moves faster through space, your localized time slows down. You aren't bending time. The server simply doesn't have the RAM to calculate your physics at that speed. So the system literally slows down your biological clock and your firing synapses to give the processor time to catch up. You're experiencing server lag. But the server's limitations don't just dictate how fast you can move, they dictate how closely you're allowed to look. You can zoom into a digital photograph all you want, but eventually you hit the base resolution, a single, undividable pixel. Astrophysicists call our base resolution the Planck length. It is the absolute smallest measurement in reality. Space is not a smooth, infinite canvas. It is quantized, built on a rigid, microscopic grid. Below this scale, gravity and distance dissolve into mathematical nonsense. You cannot move half a Planck length because the physics engine physically cannot render half a pixel. Rendering a universe built on this grid requires unimaginable computing power. To stop the graphics card from melting, modern developers use frustum culling, where they only render the high-resolution physics of the objects the player is currently looking at. When you turn your back, the world despawns to save memory. In quantum mechanics, this optimization protocol is an undeniable, peer-reviewed fact. It's called the quantum Zeno effect. When physicists continuously observe an unstable particle, it refuses to decay. The universe literally pauses the calculation when it is being watched. Your eyes are not passive lenses, they are the trigger for the render engine. The server is conserving RAM by turning off the physics when you look too closely. Because the system is desperate to save memory, it uses the ultimate developer shortcut: shared variables. If a programmer wants a switch in one room to open a door across the map, they don't make a physical signal travel between them. They just assign both objects to the exact same line of code on the back-end server. We call this quantum entanglement. Two particles separated by 10 billion light years can react to each other instantly. They aren't traveling faster than light. Distance is just a user interface illusion. Both particles are just two different 3D assets pointing to the exact same memory address. The space between them isn't real. But what happens when you cram too many high-resolution files into a single folder? the hard drive crashes. You have to compress the data to prevent a system failure. The universe has a strict mathematical limit to how much information can exist in one sector. We call it the Bekenstein bound. When that limit is exceeded, the localized physics engine crashes. We call these crashes black holes. The system can no longer render the 3D geometry, so it deletes the physical space and compresses all the trapped data into a two-dimensional hologram on the event horizon. A black hole isn't a monster, it's a cosmic zip file, a disk space full error deep in the void. We are being quarantined in a shrinking skybox until there is nothing left but us and the dark. But even with the server actively deleting the edges of the map to save memory, the code we are left with is degrading. A simulation running for 13.8 billion years will inevitably accumulate corrupted data in the playable area. It requires an active auto-repair script to survive. Deep inside the equations of supersymmetry, the math that attempts to describe the fundamental fabric of reality, theoretical physicists discovered something impossible: Shannon error-correcting block codes. The exact same digital code used in web browsers and hard drives to automatically detect and fix corrupted data is actively running in the background of our thermodynamic equations. The universe is actively debugging itself. Which brings us to the ultimate fatal exception. If the universe is a software environment, why is it running? Is it a game or an unsupervised machine learning sandbox? We run billions of simulated environments to train artificial intelligence, letting the AI fail millions of times and then harvest the successful data. The creators might have booted up 10 billion universes just to train a model on how physics or consciousness evolves. Maybe we aren't the players. Maybe we're just the ones training the data. And the cold reality of training an AI? Once the epic reaches 100% and the model is fully trained, the engineers don't keep the simulation running. They delete the sandbox to free up server space for the next test. That means the faster we progress, the sooner the simulation gets deleted. And if you want proof that this isn't the first time the server has been wiped, there is a star in our galaxy that is older than the universe itself. A leftover piece of legacy code from a previous simulation. The Methuselah star anomaly is linked right here on your screen. Click it and join the hunt.